And I was really nervous going into that meeting. And I remember seeing all the faces looking at me. I realised the power that I held in my hands. Leading a team through uncertainty can be incredibly difficult. In today's video, I'm talking about how to lead your team effectively through change without burning them or yourself out. Whether you're navigating a restructure or coming back from a tough period, you need more than resilience. You need strategy. I'm going to walk you through a framework I use with clients when they're approaching a change program. My name's Lucy. I work with clients on a one-to-one basis and also work supporting teams through change. I'm sharing what I've learned in this YouTube channel. I've put together a playlist which I've linked above, which is called How to Be Happy at Work. We all spend far too much of our lives at work to waste any minute being unhappy. So let's crack on. Change is part of life in the charity sector, or any other sector really. So it can be about new technologies, new products, new funding. Leaders will have a different perspective on change, perhaps than their teams do. I know I feel very energised by change. I find it exciting. I like the idea of something new, but our people might see uncertainty. And in times of uncertainty, that can breed rumour, it can breed fear. So our job as leaders is to manage the process with humanity and try to take our teams with us. And to do that, we need strategy. So I'm going to talk about the framework that I use. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to share a personal story of a change programme that I led when I was leading a team in international development and what I learned. So the first area that's really important to talk about is communication. How we communicate, what we communicate, when we communicate. Often leaders hesitate to say anything at all until they know all of the answers. And I think this is a mistake because often the knowledge that change is coming will be known somehow. And in that silence will come rumour. I think it's important to communicate regularly with what you do know at the time. And if people ask you questions and you don't know the answers, don't be afraid to say, I don't know the answer to that, but I will inform you when I do. It's also important to communicate in a structured way. And I would encourage people to put in place regular timed updates, so people know that they're coming and they know they'll have the opportunity to ask questions. Even if you don't feel like there's anything new to update, it provides an opportunity for people to ask you things that they may not have thought about before that they want to know the answers to. And that two-way dialogue will increase trust along the process, which is vitally important. Another area that's super important is to create a sense of ownership. Now, again, it's often leaders will feel like they've got to do all of the structure design and go away in a room and make all those decisions themselves. But I would encourage leaders to let their staff into that process. Your people will know far better than you do on the front line how it really is to be doing the jobs that they do. And they will be able to help you if you give them a parameter within which they can work. And it might be about saving money or redeploying staff to a new project or whatever it is, then they will be able to help you design. And again, that will build trust, and it will also build the team's investment in a successful outcome into the future, which is what you need. It's a more of a shared endeavour than being a top-down. Teams will resist if they feel like they're being done to, rather than people doing things with them. So that engagement, I think, is really important. The other area I wanted to talk about is momentum, and it can feel like a very long, drawn-out process, and it's grueling when you're going through a change programme. And in fact, change, as I say, is pretty constant. So the important thing to do there is to balance the quick wins, things you can fix and make better now, and the longer term. So you feel like you've got some positive impetus going on along the process rather than waiting till some big future time when all the change will be done and that everything will stay the same forever after that, which obviously isn't the case. So I think balancing that short term and long term is really important. And I also wanted to talk about well-being, which is so vital during this time. As I say, change can feel like it's taking a long time. It can be very grueling. It can be, it can occupy your mind, and it sort of takes over really the whole operation of an organisation while it's underway. So through that time, it's really important for your own well-being and for your people that you model taking your rest. Make sure you don't work into the evenings, that you don't work at weekends. Be boundaried about your work. It's through a time of change that is important more than any other time, I would suggest. What you want at the end of this is a team that is functioning and well and able to move forward together rather than a team that's on its knees and depleted and exhausted. So protecting your well-being is absolutely vital during this time. And I promised I'd share the hardest moment I ever had when I was leading a change. So I was the head of fundraising for an international charity. We were based in the London office. I had around 35 staff in my team, and we were doing some change, working with our international partners, and some responsibilities were moving around from different teams. And we had planned, so the senior management team that I was part of had planned what the new structure would look like, and we had planned a communication process to follow, and simultaneously we were each of us was announcing the change to our team. And I remember being in a big boardroom with all of my team in there. Everybody very expectant because this meeting had been put in the diary for some days, so people knew it was coming, and they were waiting to hear the information that I was going to share. And I was really nervous going into that meeting, and I remember seeing all the faces looking at me, and I realised the power that I held in my hands at that moment, the power of I knew the information that they didn't know, and I was going to share it. And it was a real a moment I'll never forget, actually. And I shared the information about the changes, and there were lots of questions, and I didn't know all the answers. And I was very honest and said, I don't know all the answers, and you will know when I know. And so it taught me a lot about communicating to your team. And the other thing that happened was that people came forward with alternative ideas about how the structure could work better. And they put together business cases about how jobs could be different and so on. And again, I learned a lot about the value of involving your team in that process, and the final outcome of the new structure changed from what had been designed by me and my senior management colleagues in that room. Did change, and that was based on the engagement of the people in the team. And I like to think, I hope, that we all emerged stronger as a set of colleagues as a result. So yes, I did learn a lot about leadership just in that moment of going into that room, holding that power in my hand with all those people. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you've learned anything at all, do click on that like button. It means the world when people like what I've shared. If you've got any comments or questions, I'd love to hear them. And also any suggestions for future videos. Also very interested to hear what people find useful or would like to learn about leadership. And yes, and if you are following the videos, and if you've made it this far, thank you so very much for watching, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss one of my videos. See you next time.